Today I will discuss to you the topic principle of a free society. So the table of contents are the following. So the first one is what is a free society? The second one, the core principles that define a free society. The third one is Catholic Church opinion about free society. The fourth one, what we can do to help build that is free and unrestricted. And the fifth and last one is do we live in a honest, free society? So let's proceed to the first part, which is the what is a free society. So in this PowerPoint slide, it is explained that freedom is defined as the ability to act as one chooses. So the second bullet is society is defined as a group of individuals involved in a persistent social interaction, or which means or a large group sharing the same geographical or social territory, typically subject to the same political authority and dominant cultural expectations. The third bullet is this demand is increasingly made that men should act on their own judgment, enjoying and making use of a responsible freedom not driven by coercion but motivated by a sense of duty. And the fourth bullet and the last one is a free society is a spontaneous society. It builds up from the actions of individuals following the rules that promote peaceful cooperation. It is not imposed from above by political authorities. Government has a very limited role in a free society. So the next part that I will be discussing is the core principles that define a free society. So the first one is the government of a free society is constrained by the rule of law. So it explains that its laws apply to everyone equally. There must be due process of law in all cases, with fair trials and no lengthy detention. Without trial, people accused of offenses must be treated as innocent until proved guilty, and individuals must not be harassed by being prosecuted several times for the same offense. So the next is we have the right to live in a democracy and are entitled to enjoy its benefits. So it explains that the right to meaningful representation, participation, and decision making about individual and community concerns shall be recognized and maintained. The protection of life, liberty, and property, the upliftment of economic conditions, and the promotion of the general welfare are essential prerequisites of a truly democratic society. So the third is we have the right to a free, accessible, relevant, nationalistic, gender quality, and cultural sensitive education, responsive to our needs. So which explains that which advances the culture of human rights. So the last is the according to 1987 Article 3, Section 5, it explains that no law shall be made respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, the free exercise and enjoyment of religious profession and worship without discrimination or preference shall forever be allowed. No religious test shall be required for the exercise of civil or political rights. The third part that I will be discussing is all about Catholic Church opinion about free society. So there are three parts that I will be discussing. So the first part is the Catholic Church cares not only for Christians' freedom, but also for the protection and cultivation of responsible human freedom in a just society. So the second one is throughout human history, men and women have risked enormous danger to worship freely and live out their faith. So the last one is the Catholic Church as an organization which promotes holistic transformation of societies. So it explains that it has the potential to appeal to all peacemakers to work for restorative justice while advocating for peace in the society. Peace without adequate justice would mean nothing to the victims of conflicts and wars. So the fourth part of this discussion is all about what we can do to help build a society that is free and unrestricted. So the first one is respectful, kind, and polite behavior toward all others even those we dislike or who belong to a group that we dislike. Second one is respectful recognition that others are entitled to their own thoughts, emotions, needs, and desires. The third one is respectful recognition that others are entitled to their own points of view about what is fair. Then the next part is respectful recognition that others are entitled to make choices that we disagree with those choices that are not doing harm to others. So the next part is respectful recognition that interdependence and individual rights are both part of the human condition, such that harming others or violating their rights also harms us. Next part is a strong commitment to the active practice of empathy and compassion. The next one is a strong commitment to living a happy and virtuous life in a world where it's unwise to control everything that another person feels, thinks, does, and says. So the second to the last part is a strong preference for conflict resolution that involves mediation and consensus rather than arbitration. So when we say arbitration, it's like the court process as parties still provide testimony and give evidence similar to a trial, but it is usually less formal. In mediation, the process is a negotiation with assistance of a neutral third party. The parties do not reach a resolution unless all sides agree. That is why mediation is more useful in resolving conflicts since it helps them to come to a mutual satisfactory agreement and to avoid getting derailed or stuck in an argument. And the last one is a strong commitment to the principle that violence should only be used as last resort in a self-defense. So the last discussion that I will be discussing all about is, do we live in an honest, free society? So my honest opinion is no, not really. Many things bind us, including the law, ethics, and so on. So while we are free to do whatever we want, we must do within the confines of the law, implying that we are not truly free. In terms of being truthful, the answer is resounding no. Humans are greedy by nature, and they will go to any length to get what they want, including using deception, lying, and even sacrificing others. So, thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. So, bye bye.